In this video, I'm going to talk about things that I wish that I had known before owning a Caterham or being a new owner. Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. And in this video I'm going to talk about things that I wish that I had known before buying a Caterham or being a new owner. One of the first things I learnt was this here means they all do that, sir. You might find if you post a question on a Facebook group or on Black Chat that you might get this as an answer, and just so you don't have to Google it, which I had to do, that is what it means. I also wish that I had joined some of the Facebook groups and the Caterham Motor 7 Club before buying this car, so that I could have asked some questions. But the way that buying this car actually came about is it actually happened quite quickly, but more on that on another video. One thing you will find if you are a Sigma or Duratec owner is that you'll probably burn your leg at some point, and I'm pretty sure you'll only do it once because, well, it really hurts. Take a look at your tyre dates, because when I first bought Fern, she had really old tyres, and some of them were, I think 2 of them were 8 years old and 2 of them were 9 years old. And especially driving in the cold weather, they were really bad for grip. I knew that having newer tyres would definitely be a benefit, but I didn't realise actually how much it would be. So definitely make sure that your tyres are new. I would say don't bother with your full hood and just buy a half hood, because they're so much better, I think, and it's nice to have a bit of airflow through the car. And if you talk to a lot of owners, that's what most people do. In the same category is to buy a long nose shower cap. These are absolutely brilliant when parking the car, and being the long nose one, it covers the vents on the bonnet, so I think that's really helpful. And for me personally, because I daily this car, when I park it up, I always have the half hood on, mainly because I live in England, but I always have the long nose shower cap on, because if it's going to rain then it just really helps protect the car, and they're brilliantly made things. You'll find that you get lots of attention, so even when you're, say, I don't know, filling the car up or just parking up anywhere, you'll find that there's lots of people that come and talk to you and ask you, how long you've owned the car, probably things like, is it a Morgan, things like that. But they're really entertaining to have these conversations, and also so nice to do. One thing I found out the hard way was about footwear. The first Caterham that I test drove, I was wearing kind of normal shoes, and I found that I couldn't drive it because the pedals were so close together and I was ending up pressing both of them at the same time. I don't even have massive feet, I have size 9 feet. And after doing this, when I did a bit more research, I realised that a lot of owners use Puma speedcats, and I'll leave a link in the description below and maybe pop up a pair here. So these shoes work really well because they're quite narrow shoes, and they've also got really thin soles, so it means that you can feel the pedals really well, and they're perfect for Caterham owners. So when buying a car, definitely try and buy as close to the correct spec that you would want to, and concentrate on the main things like engine and chassis size, but there's so many things that you can swap out yourself easily, and that's also part of the fun. I think LED lights are really important to have, because it's really important to be seen and also to see yourself. Another item would be something to help with ear protection. So when I first bought this car, I was using kind of normal kind of earbuds that you might get with a phone, for instance, and then I bought some kind of noise cancelling headphones, which I thought were helping, but really that was just pumping in extra noise. But you should really invest in some kind of hearing protection, because it is very loud here, and especially being a driver of a Ford engine car, you've got the exhaust right next to you as well. I think having the car being a bright colour, or at least having some bright colour accents on the car, is good for being seen as well, because there's so many times where you're not seen as a Caterham owner because you're low to the ground. Every upgrade for your Caterham is for safety, and it costs £50 if you're telling a partner. You'll also find that most questions have multiple answers. So if you were to post a question about, say, I don't know, maybe a torque setting, or I don't know, what brake pads should I use, you'll find that there's lots of different answers, and that's because people use the cars in different ways. This is also why I don't do that many how-to videos, because I know that there's different ways of doing things, even though I do a lot of stuff myself. Working on Caterhams is a lot easier than you might think. So I'm not a professional by any means, or definitely not a mechanic, and I've only started doing stuff since owning the car. And I've been surprised myself of how easy certain jobs are to do. And sometimes it's just being brave yourself to actually do these things, but it's also a good way of learning. Caterhams are very simple really, and to be able to work on them you don't need that many tools. Just buying a decent tool set from Halfords, having a jack and some axle stands, that will get you through a lot of jobs. While I've mentioned axle stands, one thing that you could do is put some carpet on the top of them to help protect the powder coats on the chassis. I would strongly advise to keep a throttle cable in the boot because they do snap, even if you don't keep anything else in there. I've already made a video on what I keep in my boot, so have a look for that one. If you own a Caterham, you'll find some owners will say to you, wait until you get it out on track, it'll be a totally different car. And to be honest, I thought this would be spirited road driving, but I was absolutely wrong. When you take a Caterham out on track and everything gets warm, it's a totally different car, and it's so hard to explain until you've had that experience yourself. So please take your Caterham out on track for one track day at least, even if you're not planning on track day in it, because just to get that experience, it's really good. A nice surprise was how nice the Caterham community is. You'll find if you're at a Caterham event and somebody has a problem, for instance, the amount of people that would go over and offer their help is so nice to see. Please let me know in the comments section below if I've missed anything, or what you found as a Caterham owner that you'd wish that you'd known before. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and a lot of these things I wish that I had definitely known before buying the car myself. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It makes a big difference to a small channel like mine. And don't forget, every stone chip tells a story, and I'll see you in the next one.
As you fade away, as you fade away.